What's going on, guys? Doomwick here, and welcome back to some more Pioneer content on the channel. I've been listening to you guys in the comments section, and I have been noticing that you guys want a lot more Pioneer. So, here you go. Before we continue this video, please be sure to, if you're enjoying the content, the most important thing that really helps the channel out, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you thought down below in the comments. For those of you who have not been paying attention to Pioneer over the past couple of weeks, this deck is everywhere. It's all over the place. Every single challenge that I look at has, at the bare minimum, somewhere between 7 to 8, maybe even upwards of 10 copies of this in the top 32, and I don't really know where it started. I was trying to find out. There was a challenge, I want to say maybe like 2.5 weeks ago, where the top 4 of the challenge was 3 of these decks and a Phoenix deck, but I couldn't find anything before that. So I feel like it must have been found somewhere, and somebody, maybe it was just a standard deck that got ported to Pioneer, not 100% sure. But to kind of give you the TLDR of what's going on here, it's pretty simple. So we're a Rakdos deck, but we are a little bit more aggressive of a Rakdos deck, so we're utilizing the Prowess mechanic. Now, this doesn't have Prowess in and of itself, Heartfire Hero, but whenever you target it, it gets a counter, and you do target it with spells most of the time. Monastery Swiftspear, Emberheart Challenger, Slickshot Show-Off, Honorary Prowess. So a bunch of ways to kind of pump up your creatures, and you have some, this is kind of the top end, or the kill spell, as it were. So Callous Sell-Sword, it's 2 mana for a 2/2, enters with a counter on it for each creature that died. We don't really care about that most of the time. We care about Burn Together. So it's 1 red sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any other target, then sacrifice it. You can kind of see where this is going, where you have some prowess creatures, maybe some pump spells like Titan Strength that gives +3/+1, Monstrous Rage effectively gives +3 power because it's 2 from itself, and then the roll token, which is an additional power. So both of these give 3 power for 1 mana. And if you're combining that with Heartfire Hero, remember, Heartfire Hero says when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Well, Callous Sell-Sword, the Burn Together half of, the creature you control deals damage to its power to any target, then you sacrifice it. So, if you have, say, nothing else, right? Say you just have a Titan Strength and a Callous Sell-Sword and a Heartfire Hero. You Titan Strength the Heartfire Hero, gets the trigger, which the Valiant trigger puts a counter on it, that's 1 power, 2/2, and then it gets +3/+1, making it a 5/3. You attack for 5, they take 5, and then in your second main phase, you burn together the Heartfire Hero. They take 5 from the Burn Together and an additional 5 from the Heartfire Hero. 5 + 5 + 5. That's 15 damage with just effectively, I mean, it's 3 cards, but you get the idea, and you can see the explosiveness of this deck and really where it's coming from. The additional spells here, we have Ancestral Anger, just cantrip. Trample is really important because when you have stuff like Titan Strength, you can make the creature have a ton of power, but they might have some chump blockers. So stuff like Ancestral Anger and Monstrous Rage to give trample, very, very important. Kumano, which doesn't necessarily fit in the theme of pump spells and burn spells and stuff like that, but it's really cool because the second chapter can put a counter on Heartfire Hero, which eventually down the road can deal your opponent more damage because you get the counter there, and then when it dies, they take more damage. So Kumano, even though it doesn't necessarily synergize with a lot of what's going on in this deck, just an extremely powerful card. It's effectively 1 mana for 4 points of damage because you get the 1 damage on the ETB, the +1/+1 counter on your next creature, and you get a 2/2 body. So that's a lot for 1 mana. We mentioned Monastery Swiftspear, Monstrous Rage. There's 1 copy of Reckless Rage to go with the second in the sideboard. If this deck is going to pick up more in popularity, I could certainly see playing more copies of this main, maybe even 2 or 3 copies. So keep that in mind. Dreadhorde Arcanist, it looks kind of out of place, but Dreadhorde Arcanist pairs very nicely with those pump spells, right? Because you pump the Dreadhorde Arcanist. I guess in this particular version, we don't have anything that costs 3 mana to flashback with Arcanist, but there are some versions that do. But basically, Arcanist is another way for you to just get more prowess triggers, right? You go Arcanist, flashback Titan Strength, that's +3 3 more damage. It's free because you're attacking with the Arcanist. You're not paying mana for the spell, and that's generating you prowess triggers. So just a way to generate a lot of damage. And then last but not least, we have Claim to Fame. This is mostly for when your opponents kill your creatures. You can rebuy it for 1 mana and then pump it for an additional 2 more prowess triggers. Mana base, nothing fantastic, nothing spectacular, a bunch of dual lands, 1 Sokenzan, 1 Dead of the Bugbear. And then as far as the sideboard, this is really where it comes into play, because you'll notice there's not a lot of black cards in the main deck. Realistically, again, we're casting this on Burn Together most of the time. This is really the only black card in the main deck, but the sideboard is where it comes into play. 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Fatal Push. I mean, if you're playing black and Pioneer, you probably should have these cards in your deck. They're the best interaction. I don't think there's going to be a card that is printed in a standard set that is going to outshine the efficiency of Thoughtseize and Fatal Push. So if you're playing black, you got to play these cards. The aforementioned Reckless Rage, 3 Ob Nixilis for when you got to go longer against control and mid-range, 2 Hearst for Phoenix, and then our trusty Jegantha Companion. That's pretty much it for the main deck. We are going to see if we can kill somebody on turn 3, because it can and very likely will happen. With all of that, I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. A lot of people think like, oh, you can stifle triggered abilities. You stifle their storm and you counter them. But the reality of the fact is, like, when they're going off, when they're having that big combo turn, they're going to storm you and they're going to be able to draw their entire deck. So you consigning their first Grape Shot does nothing, because they can just pass in flames and cast it again. So it's all like, you should board in consign against them only if you are interested in countering the Ruby Medallion, which maybe you are, but yeah, I was playing the Time Walk plus Empty the Warren stuff because I don't own a Thassa's Oracle. I refuse to buy one. Perhaps I maybe should have a Thassa's Oracle, but I ain't buying that shit. It's like $20, dude. I'll just -1 sideboard slot. It's not a big deal. What if you're interested in countering the Storm Trigger then losing? Well, then it's a good idea. You like Gambit in the board? I mean, Gambit is really only relevant if you don't have the Oracle, right? Like, there's no reason to play Gambit, Empty, and Oracle. I can't think of one. Archfiend of the Dross. You know, I'm beginning to think this deck kind of sucks. Wait, hold on a second. We can claim Arcanist, Fame Arcanist, make it a 3/3, Rage the Arcanist, make it a 6, attack with both. It doesn't work, right? If I had 1 more mana available, that would be a lot better. Do you think that forces the trade for the Arcanist, though? Maybe. I mean, it's better than sitting here doing nothing, right? So we go here. We go here. And then... yeah, Rage here. The question is, do I send both? If I send both, I can Rage the Etching, but they'll just block the Etching and take 6. If I only send the Arcanist, they'll trade for Arcanist and they'll take 2? Is that better or worse? I think better, because I get to keep the Etching. I think this is better. I mean, they have to block, right? They're not just going to take 8. Guess they could. Alright, never mind. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm also okay with that. Okay, yep. I've been pushed. I've been booshed. At least I think I'm happy with that outcome. I mean, they still have the Archfiend, but... okay. So there's a reasonable chance they have a removal spell for the Den. So if I go for Den and they kill Den, then I'm dead on the crackback. 6, 7. So I think it might be better to go just attack for 2, shock, and play Jegantha. Because if I shock to 10, animate Den, say they have push for Den, I take 2, go to 8, and then they have 10 damage in play. Because then I'll be tapped out. But at least... Wait, they shocked that turn? I didn't even realize they shocked. Oh, they probably have Sokenzan, right? So, if their plan is Sokenzan double block here, then I go shock to 10, play Jegantha. That's fine, right? Yeah, that's fine, okay. Because then we don't die. I can't think of a reason why they would shock other than Sokenzan. Yeah. They could also chump and not double, but they probably should double. Okay, we go here. We go to 10. Then we go to 8, but we're still not dead, right? Obviously, if they have a 2-mana removal spell for Jegantha, we're dead. But if they just go animate Den, send both, I block Den and take 7. We're dead to, like, go for the throat or Bitter Triumph, but we're probably not beating those cards anyways, right? Okay, that's fine. They do a burn spell. Yeah, we're also dead to Bone Crusher Giant. So we're dead to Bone Crusher and any 2-mana removal spell. They can't take the Sell-Sword. Nice. Sick. Alright. That was dope. That was dope. So, Rakdos Midrange. I guess the Obs are good. The removal bad, maybe. So we'll cut this. And I don't know. Maybe like 1 Sell-Sword. Almost got 2 Sell-Swords, I guess. Yeah, Sell-Sword's not great against them. Like, Ob kind of accomplishes the same thing as Sell-Sword, but it's way better against removal. Phelps, thank you for the 10-month resub. Welcome back, Phelps. Appreciate the resub. Thank you for the support. This hand looks pretty good. Keep this. Alright, we go Cliffs, Kumano. Kumano. Can't Fatal Push that. So honestly, at this point, Vitamin, if the RC was tomorrow, right, I think I would be... Mr. S. XD. If the RC was tomorrow, I think I would be about 90% to play Phoenix. So the next, like, these decks that we're playing today is really just testing to see if there's anything that I like enough to get me off of Phoenix. Basically, like, every deck that I play for the next couple of weeks is just going to be, does this deck impress me enough to the point where I don't want to play Phoenix anymore? Now, I don't know if anything's going to be like that, but we'll see. Yeah, Duskmourn is legal for the RC. I'm not sure how much that's going to factor in, though. Like, I don't know how many cards from Duskmourn are actually, like, truly Pioneer playable. We go here. Am I committing the second Show-Off? I think so. Because they're so likely to just go push 1 Show-Off. If they push a Show-Off, they don't really want to trade the Harvester, though, because then they can't Harvester the second one. So I think what's likely going to happen is they're just going to push a Show-Off and take 5, and then go untap, sack the Harvester, kill the other one. So I think that's fine. Yeah, because they don't want to trade here. Unless they just have another push. Only one that walks beside me. But yeah, I think I am extremely likely at this point to play Phoenix. Which one of these would I rather have a counter on? Hey, Limk. Welcome to the stream. I think I would rather have the counter on the Challenger, because it has haste. But I could also discard the land there. Yeah, I was thinking about playing towards Jegantha, but it might be better to just keep the second creature. Okay, well, that's insane. Like, actual best possible. Because hitting a land off this would be huge, or even a 1-drop. Not exactly. Not a castable spell. I'm not complaining, but... Now we have 5 for Jeggy. Blood. 3-Tree Scribe. The Cyber against exile effects. 3-Tree Scribe, 2 mana, 2/3. Whenever it or other creature enters, leaves the battlefield without dying, but a counter on a creature you control. Whenever it or another creature... No, not worth it. Too weak. Too weak. That is insane, right? I guess we just target the Show-Off? One... It's not lethal. But it's good enough, I think. And then I can just do this. And hold the land. So, I thought about the Arcanist, but the thing about Arcanist is I don't have a spell that... Oh, I can flashback the Anger. Maybe that was better. It's less damage, but I get to cycle the Anger there. Maybe that's better. Alright, they had nothing. Cool. 1 and 0. That does seem like a pretty good matchup. Yeah, Legacy banned Arcanist. The thing is, people in Legacy were not claim defaming their Arcanist. At least, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think they were. Is this another mirror match? Surely it's not. Alright, well, this is just the whole format, huh, I guess? Every other match you play against Rakdos. And by Rakdos, I mean Rakdos Aggro. Ooh, the spice. And by the spice, I mean they probably just swapped Ancestral Anger for it, which is mostly irrelevant. Our hand kind of sucks, though. If I'm being honest with you. Just to have 2 uncastables. If I had a black source, we could go Sell-Sword, Fling, and then claim the creature, but we don't have a black source. So we're just kind of content with doing this, I guess. And hoping they don't kill us. Alright, go. Surely I won't die this turn, right? Listen what I say, yo. Uh-oh. Monka. Chat, Monka. I'm in danger. 7. Probably dead. Very likely dead. You know, the one thing about these games is at least they're fast, right? Welcome to Pioneer, folks. We're here for a good time, not a long time. It's actually insane how much of this Rakdos deck there is. It's like the only deck I play against. I'm going to try, I guess, cutting these, maybe? Swapping these for pushes. I have no idea how to sideboard this matchup. Maybe Arcanist is too slow? Could buy it, I guess. How good is a card like Deafening Sounds versus my deck? It's good against the Sell-Sword stuff, I guess. This hand has no pump spells, but it has a lot of good draws. I think this is good enough. But I don't know, like maybe in the mirror match, are you supposed to just mulligan until you find the turn 3 kill? Like, is that just what this is all about? 2 ships passing in the night. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. Nothing to see here. This deals more damage. Well, this deals more damage next turn. No, because actually, no, this is better, I think. Maybe none of those are right. Maybe I'm supposed to just rage the Heartfire Hero. Okay. They have Reckless Rage. They could have Reckless Rage. Is there anything I can do about that? I can... I guess lead here to try and find my own removal spell. Feels weird not targeting the Heartfire Hero, but I think the way that my hand is, I just need to find a way to kill their Heartfire Hero. Yeah. And now they're going to have to cast their Rage now. Okay. Something. Sure. So now we can go here, cast this, and I guess just attack for 1. Yeah, this feels really bad. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to just play the Slickshot that turn, and then try to set up for a big turn the following turn. Because it was pretty obvious they had Fatal Push, right? Or some way to kill my creature. Okay, that's something, I guess? So let's go here. I think I'm just going to kill the Heartfire Hero now. I can't afford to let that thing get bigger. And we just have to try and race them. I mean, it's very likely we're dead next turn, but I'm not exactly sure what we're supposed to do about that. Like, I could hold back the chump block, but if they have Monstrous Rage, then it doesn't matter. I don't know. Feels bad. Does Phoenix have a good matchup against the Rakdos deck? See, I have not played the matchup from either side, so I don't know. My guess is that Phoenix has to be good against this kind of deck. I mean, they're playing 8 1-mana removal spells, you know? Like, it can't be that bad. You know what I mean? Alright, I am dead. I don't know. Like I said, I have not played the matchup from either side, but just by looking at the two decks side by side, I would have to guess that Phoenix is favored against this. Alright, 80 cards. Thank God no more mirrors. But that also sounds kind of loose, because I could probably just find better cards for the mirror match. You know? Alright, Restless Anchorage. Let's lead on Hero. Think any slow deck will suffer greatly against this? Yeah, like Blue-White Control, for example. Unless they just play a bunch of Settle the Wreckages. Odds they have main deck lockdown. I'll just attack and I'll attack and plot. I think it might be right to plot anyways. To not play into counter spells. Not sure though. Sell-Sword's gonna TBR for less mana. Well, in terms of, it's not nearly as good as it is in Phoenix, right? Yeah, we're talking about Phoenix specifically. Don't counter this, please. They did not counter it. But now we have to worry about Verdict. So I may not want to extend both Swiftspears. I think I want to do something like this. Bat into a second March, I guess, but I was really hoping to find a land there. Alright, creatures have been 07'd. Yeah, I think we just go Arcanist here and try to cook them next turn. I may want to upkeep the Titan Strength, just so I can try to scry and find a land. I think I am going to do that, actually. Because I really want to land this turn. Well, I'll do it again. I know I'm spewing some Swiftspear value here, but I really just want to find a land. Okay. Did find a land, which kind of helps. There's a good chance I get Empered on the Arcanist, but I do deal them a good amount of damage. Yeah, let's go Titan Strength. And I'll target the Swiftspear. So this way, if they have Emperor, at least getting more damage. I think... Oh, okay. Well, they don't have Emperor. Confirmed. Alright, blue-white control. Give me Thoughtseize. Reckless Rage out. What was going on there? I think we swap out the Angers for Thoughtseizes. One of these... Honestly, just two of these. We don't need to Sell-Sword against them. Is this Tool? Bottom left. No, it's called... The song is called Flying Whales by the band Gojira. It's really good. I've seen these guys live once. Pats will win more games than Dallas. Would you like to put a friendly wager on that? Because I accept. If you accept, I accept. Ob Mid of the Sea. You need 10-1 odds to take that bet? Yeah. If the friendly wager is a gifted sub, then I will. Alright, fine. I'm in. No! No! I wanted to do that. I have 3 cards in hand. Really want to do this. I'm actually going to save the Titan Strength, too. I think there's a good chance I go upkeep Titan Strength, and then maybe go attack, then post-combat casualty sack the Swiftspear. And I want the Swiftspear in the graveyard so I can claim to fame it. That's kind of where I'm at. This is pretty bad if they have March, because then they can exile the Swiftspear. Kind of just want a creature, right? Now, I guess here's the question: do you even attack into Emperor, or do we just sack it now for the casualty? Because attacking is kind of bad if they have Emperor, right? But what if they had Deluge and not Emperor? Could be either or. I'm gonna try to smell their hand real quick. Nah, it smells like Emperor. I'm smelling Emperor. What if they have both? Well, then there's nothing I can do, right? If they have both, then they have both, but... What if they had no more lies? You missed the red Aggro stream? No, we're in it right now. Honestly, at 5 loyalty, I'm plussing. It's bad if they kill the Ob, but, you know. Still dealt them 2 damage, right? I went to remove a stop, and I accidentally put a stop on my draw step. That was not the intended outcome. This is fine, right? I think. If I make him deal with the Challenger, then they're just gonna die to the Ob Nixilis. Then March. Okay. It's not a bad hit. Go here, plus... Will we get to Ultimate? Will we get to Ultimate for Evil? Oh, I like the sound of that. What's the Ultimate do? Target player draws 7 and loses 7 life. So it just kills them. We can go here, get back this. And then I think we can Monstrous Rage, Knockout Blow. It deals 4, okay. So we can rage this one. No! You didn't let me ultimate! No! Come back! I could have even raged to save the other Swiftspear, but I wanted to ultimate them so bad. No! Yeah, like I said, Kebby, I don't know what the deck looks like, so I would have to take a look at it first. This your first league still? Yes. I definitely didn't get Settle the Wreckage, then drop from the first league. ACS is the charity. Who settles? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? I've been lied to? I've been deceived? What? What's this? What's going on here? What? Kahira Basic Mountain? What is Blood cooking over there? What is Blood cooking over there? Alright, Plotch. It's Boros? Oh, is it the I didn't know that McNamara had the Kahira. The Doomwake School for Washboomers who can't play good and want to do other things good too. I mean, I'm terrible at the game. I don't, that's not why you're here. You guys know that I'm bad at the game. Interesting. If only I could get this Claim to Fame in the graveyard. Okay, let's go here. Here. And now the question is, do we want to Monstrous Rage or Arcanist? I think I'm just going to Arcanist. Because if I Monstrous Rage to put a roll on the Slickshot, they can still have Torch, Sack, Carrot Cake. So I'd rather just try and double Rage next turn, I think. I think it's the Oath deck, yeah. I mean, Beza's not that bad, because the Slickshot can attack over Beza. So I don't mind too much if they Beza me. I don't think. Okay, that's huge. That is massive. So now the question is, what do we target with the first Rage? Probably the 1-2 Slickshot, because that is our lowest value threat right now. And then we can go to combat and flashback, probably target the other one. Assuming they don't kill the Arcanist, which they might. This is a lot of damage. This is a lot of damage. Alright, target this. So, assuming they don't have a removal spell, are they dead? This is 17. No, they can go to 18. So they would go to 1 if they don't have a removal spell. Because they can go to, yeah. Guess they could block the Arcanist and take... Yeah, it's still 17 though, right? So they do go to 1. Does the Mochnamar deck play sweepers? I don't remember. Okay, we just had that beat on board, right? We just have 5 in the air. 3 Sunfall. Okay, 4 mana sweepers. I should clarify. I don't care about 5 mana sweepers. You think 5 mana is good enough? You're getting a turn 5 against this deck? No shot. 0 chance. What I do love about this deck is Possibility Storm plus High Noon. Like, that interaction is super sick. To the point where I almost wonder if we want to play more copies of Possibility Storm. Because, like, those two cards work so well together. Just to lock them out. Alright, Boros Control. Thoughtseize me. It's kind of just the same sideboarding as blue-white, right? Where these out, this out, and then 2 of these out. I think. Yeah, that's true. At least High Noon is just a good card because there's so many decks that want a double spell. It's one of those things where it's like if you draw the High Noon without the Possibility Storm, the likelihood of it having text is still pretty high. But if it's the opposite, where you draw Storm without High Noon, then it's, extremely unlikely to matter in most games. Or like it's just not going to do that much. I think this hand's a keep. I could be convinced to mulligan though. It's close. Okay. Well. Never mind. Hand was great. I should have kept. Good keep, chat. Good keep. Good keep. Is Fatal Push the best way to fight this deck? I think so, yeah. But it's like, it's not just Fatal Push. You kind of need a combination of like removal spells plus something else. Fatal Push is a good start, but it's like, the Rakdos Midrange deck is Fatal Push plus discard. This deck is like Fatal Push plus pressure. It's not just removal, because this deck can play through removal with like Jegantha, Ob Nixilis, Claim to Fame, stuff like that. Yeah, I agree though. Sweepers, I think, are too slow against this deck. If maybe Lockdown is good enough because it's only 3 mana, but if your plan is to like Verdict or Sunfall, no shot. You're just not going to get. You're not going to have time to get to those cards if that's your only plan. Yeah, I'm not convinced that Pyroclasm is that great against this deck though, because Kumano and Monstrous Roll and Arcanist all make you like get out of 2 toughness range. Or just having a Swiftspear with a mana up, So I'm not even sure how good Pyroclasm is going to be against this deck. Yeah, that is a good point too. They're a little bit worse in open deck lists. I don't disagree with that, Bob. All right, looks like we have. I did really want to play this matchup because Phoenix is one of the matchups I have not played with this deck yet. Yeah, nobody plays that though. Get back around to messing with Victimize after Otter was printed. I have not Aggro. Sounds kind of interesting though. The Dimir Reanimator deck with Otter Victimize. I could see that. It's a little scary. So I think here we're actually supposed to play the Challenger because that can attack past the Shredder this turn. Whereas if I play the Show-Off, I still can't attack. So I think I want to get in my guaranteed damage here. Yeah, if your opponent reveals Jegantha, it's like 95% going to be this deck. Pretty good turn. Pretty good turn. Yeah, Monstrous Rage does a lot of good work against Shredder. Although here it's kind of awkward, because I want to play the Show-Off pre-combat, right? This is weird. Because if I play Show-Off pre-combat and attack with both, if they block, I rage, they discard a spell, they get a 3/5. Right? And I'm either going to have a 5/3 or a 6/3. But I can't, you know what I mean? I can't, like, get my creature outside of trading for Shredder range. So is it even worth it to play the Slickshot before combat? What if I just go attack for 2 and plot? Well, I'm still kind of in the same spot next turn, right? Maybe I'm just in a position where I have to accept the trade for Shredder. Because my hand sucks. And I don't think waiting gets any better, right? Like, the longer I wait, the worse it gets for me. Because if I wait till next turn, they might do the same thing and have mana up, right? So I think I just have to accept the trade. These are the Phoenixes I have in paper. I wanted to buy the retro ones, but they were way too expensive. And these were like $3. Yeah, maybe we need to get Sell-Sword value, so if they trade, I could, like, just play a 3/3. It's not the worst idea. Yeah, I want to get the retro ones. Welcome, Flow of Mana. Welcome to the stream. We're going on a cruise. I'll be cruising today. Ooh, I don't hate that. Because now if they trade, we can just make 2 3/3s. Oh. Huh. I feel like that's worse than just going to combat. Although, this is weird. We're at 13. If I just attack with Etching, they're not going to block, right? But then I guess I could claim the Challenger and then Fame the Challenger. And then if they trade for Challenger, they exile the Phoenix. Unless their plan is block Challenger before damage kill the Etching, that would be bad. But this gives me another card, which I like. I believe so. Target you control deals damage equal to its power to any other target, then sacrifice it. Yeah, so I think the way that this is worded means that if I target Etching on Phoenix, I believe the damage would happen before, like, due to state-based effects, before this dies, or before this gets sacrificed. I think you're right about that. I'm not 100% positive, but I think that's how it works. Okay. Hitting a 1-drop here would be nice. Okay, not quite a 1-drop. Still 5 cards in hand, too. So now they just don't block. Yeah, their plan was just block something else, then kill this. I think it doesn't exile because it's damage. Well, this specifically says, if a creature dealt damage this turn by a source you control would die, exile it instead. Right? And this does deal damage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It's not on the battlefields. It's not in play when the Phoenix dies. Well, the way it's worded, it says, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any other target, then sacrifice it, right? So wouldn't it go damage and then, you know what I mean? Like, would the damage not happen first? That's like the way that I would interpret it, but... PGV, thank you for the Prime sub, appreciate that. It deals damage, then sack, then the damage kills the bird. Phoenix dies when state-based effects are checked. Well, and then, okay, well, if that was the case, then state-based effects would be checked after the Kumano was already dead then, right? I'm confused. Why is Magic such a hard game? What? Can they make this game easier for us, please? Why can't they just make the game easier? They have to make everything so complicated. This one. What's this? Galvanic. Galvanic removal spell is bad here. Yeah. Spell Pierce. Fuck. Oh, no. Okay, well, it wasn't a removal spell. It's still not ideal, though. PGB, thank you again for the Prime sub. Alright, so we trade, bounce, and then you guys know what time it is. Everybody knows what time it is. It's time for the best card in the modern format. The Edison monstrosity that E3 made his new video? Oh yeah. That deck is kind of based. I mean, to his credit, it is kind of just like a modern deck in Edison format. It did look good. What it feels like to me, it feels very similar to me of like the Yorion Omnath piles. It's just a deck with a bunch of good cards. There's not a ton of synergy. It's just here's the good cards, you know. And it does play some pretty broken cards. It's the most played card in Modern, including lands. Well, I would like to point you to the Modern Super Qualifier top 8 that had 8 Jegantha decks in it. Sure about that? Fake news. Are we banning Jegantha in Modern? It's only 8 copies, though. Yeah, but like in terms of the number of decks it's in, I wonder if it's actually surpassed the ring. Not in terms of total copies in decks. I'm just saying that decks that contain the card. You know, I wonder if that number is higher than the ring. It's got to be close, right? Am I saying ban Jeff? No. No, I'm not saying ban Jegantha. That's absurdity, but I just find it funny is all I'm saying. I don't feel great about this game. I don't even have a good attack. I guess I could trade Jegantha for Shredder, but I'm just gonna wait. I feel like we are pretty dead, though. Got home after getting into top 8 undefeated, 802 in the 4-season Modern main event. Congratulations, definitely not Chris. Be extra petty telling people that Falaji is an unplayable card. Falashi's not that bad. You have 4 Emperors, though. Oh, you're playing Jace instead? I do kind of like that. Jace Flashback Gorios. That sounds kind of cool. The most played sideboard card? Consign to Memory. That kind of makes sense. I mean, if the Ring is the most played main deck card, then it would track to make for that Consign to Memory was the most played sideboard card, right? 2-mana Stitcher Supplier is horrible. Well, it's Stitcher Supplier, but it cantrips, right? So it's not quite the same thing. But I see what you're saying. It's not ideal. All right, I think we can pack this one in. I think we can pack this one in. Okay, against Phoenix, huh? Hurts me for sure. Like, I guess the question is, how many answers to Shredder do I want? The answer is not 0. It's definitely more than that. I think all the Sell-Swords are bad. This seems like a good Arcanist matchup. This card could maybe be medium. And then we have 6 cards to add. Maybe it's 3 ops, 3 removal spells. Just like 3 and 3. Let's try that. See how that goes. I do think I like op, though. Because these games get a little bit grindy. You whiffed on 8 Falaji triggers. Well, that's the issue, right? Is like the way that these Gorios decks are built, they don't actually have a ton of Falaji hits. So it is more likely they'll brick on it. It's a lot of 2-mana cards. I think I'm keeping, though. And it's a good point. Ephemerate, like, if you're cutting Falaji for Jace, I'm sure your Ephemerates get a lot worse. But, like, the thing that I realized about Ephemerate, once you lost Grief, Ephemerate is much more of a combo card. Like, the way that I view Ephemerate is it's really only there for the turn that you are, like, doing the Gorios thing, if that makes sense. And it's much less of a value card than it is a combo card. Like, that's kind of the way that I view it. Which means maybe you don't want 4 copies anymore. Maybe you just want 3. Because, like, if you're cutting the Philogis and the Griefs, then what are you really doing with it outside of the combo? Consign your Goryo's trigger? Oh yeah, that comes up. I got massively punished for not bottoming this the Blackcleave Cliffs, by the way. I don't know how much it's going to matter, but I don't think it'll matter at all, actually. Unless I draw a 2-mana card next turn, then it could matter. Aftermath Analyst and Goryo's. You can ephemerate the Analyst to mill 3 again. Yeah, the problem is, how good is the 4-mana ability? I guess the 4-mana ability can allow you to get to hardcast your creatures? Maybe? Is that the idea? You, like, get a bunch of fetch lands back, and then you can hardcast Atraxa? You do already kind of want a green source in the deck anyways, to be able to hardcast Atraxa regardless. Philagi is better. Well, I think the argument that we're making is that Philagi is not better because Analyst gets you the lands back to hardcast the Atraxa, right? So I think that's the argument that we're having. I could see it, honestly. And you have enough fetch lands that even if you don't mill lands over with the Philagi, you still probably have enough fetch lands in your deck that you're, like, always going to be able to get stuff back, regardless. I kind of don't want to attack, because if I attack and they just go, like, they block play 2 cantrips, they can just kill one of these for free. So I'm just going to pass. Ride or Die, welcome to the stream. You're bouncing the hearse. All right. Touche. Well, I think if you're playing Aftermath Analyst, you would want to have an untapped green source. Like, you wouldn't want your only green source to be a Triome. For the games where you want to, like, I don't know, turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Analyst or something. Thing in the ice. Okay. Good thing I brought in those pushes. This is weird. Honestly, I think I just go Hearse Plot. I think that's where I want to go. Trigger Prowess. Question is, do I attack? Yeah, attacking is fine because they only have... They can't double spell to make a Shredder a... They can't double spell to make the Shredder a 3/5. So the attack's kind of free. I mean, they might just block anyways. But... Bolt the Bird, thank you for the 6-month resub. Welcome back, Bird. You don't want to bolt this bird, though. That bird is, I mean, it is boltable, but not recommended. Okay, they can't cruise yet, so I can wait a little bit. I want to see if they cast a cantrip in a turn. Now they could potentially cruise. So it seems like a good opportunity to do this. I think. I do not feel very good about this game, though. The Fletcher's Johnson. The one and only. I'm jealous that I don't get to go to LGSs with Fletcher's Johnson. If only. Yeah, this is not... this is not going well. Remember that thing I said earlier about Rakdos having a bad Phoenix matchup? Seems like I was right. Yeah, maybe a small sample size, but we're getting worked. Absolutely worked. Yeah, that too. I mean, I have the pushes in, so we can technically beat the thing in the ice, but... Yeah, that's a good point. We've drawn pretty horribly. We mulliganed and kept... We kept Challenger, Hearse, 3 lands. Have I drawn a spell this whole game? I actually don't think I have, right? I drew 1 spell. Yeah, I drew 1 spell. And it wasn't even that good of a spell. They're at 13. How do we do this? We actually maybe have a way out of this, right? 1, 2... I think it involves denning. Yeah, I think it involves denning. Attack with both, they block Slickshot, we rage the Slickshot and deal them 8 damage. They go to 6. Then we can exile the Phoenix. I never felt so alive. What's up, Diabolical? Welcome to the stream. I could exile now, but it doesn't cut them off of casting Cruise, so I'd rather wait to see if they find a second Phoenix, I think. Yeah, we knew about that. Okay. It's, like, I guess, a good sign for me. Maybe. Just passing. Okay, let's go here. What's our best draw here? Probably Claim to Fame. Something. It's not quite... Even if they have nothing, it's not quite lethal, right? Because they block the dead and we only have 5. Are we supposed to just go Jegantha Pass? You know what we could do? We could Jegantha and then Titan Strength to Jegantha on defense. Which I'm not opposed to. So the issue with that, Lupo, is it leaves us dead on board. If I activate Den and attack with all 3, they just chump block the Den. And even if I Titan Strength and unblock creature, it's only 5. Even if they have nothing. And I think they're pretty likely to block the Den. So I think I'm just going to go Jegantha Pass. Yeah, it's only 5 damage. If this was Monstrous Rage, maybe... Well, no, I guess it wouldn't even matter if it was Monstrous Rage, right? Yeah, I'm going to leave the Goblin token back. I think we maybe still have outs this game. And I do think I am going to try to go for a Jegantha block plus Titan Strength on defense, especially if they attack with both. Is there a reason to Hearse now? Not really. I mean, they could find Cruise, and I could, like, do that, but I'd rather just look for Phoenixes. Jegantha Crew attack for 4. The issue with attacking with Hearse is what if they find another Phoenix? Maybe it's worth it, though. Because if I attack with Hearse, they have to at least chump block the Hearse. Unless they have Axe, but I'm probably not beating Axe anyways. He discarded a Fiery Impulse. Okay. Yep, all this is fine. Are they not attacking? This is actually kind of a close game. I thought we were extremely dead, but... They are attacking. And they have a 2/4 Shredder. I mean, we're just trading, right? I think. We have to trade. Or do we? Hold on a second. Wait, no, we have lethal. Crew Hearse, chump block, animate Den, send everything. They block Jegantha 3, 4, 7, right? Yeah, we just have lethal. I think. Assuming I did my math correctly, which I have been known to not do the math properly, so... So just hope for the best. Yeah, how did I win this game? My first 5 draws were 4 lands at a Slickshot. Matchup is good. I mean, maybe it's better than I thought it was. Clearly banned Jegantha, right? Oh, man. Hello, Bubsy. To be fair, we would have lost this game if it were for Jegantha. 100%. I did see that, Phillips. Yeah, it was the super qualifier. What is this hand? This hand is, I think, very good. Seems good, right? There's only one ball here. Okay, we're going to be doing a lot of plotting. A lot of plotting. Is Dak worth all that money? I mean, they won the game, so... My face when I draw the third slick shot. Let's go to combat first. So if they block, we strength tap land. If not, we plot. You know what's funny? Oh, okay, well. I was going to say we should actually just cast the slick shot and not plot, but they blocked, so never mind. I changed my mind. Why would they block there? That seems like an insane block. Maybe they just have second Shredder anyways? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I could maybe see it if they had second Shredder, but even then, they would rather just have two of them in play, I think. Like, if they don't block, I'm not going to cast a pump spell. Just take the one, you know? They showed us Brotherhood's End last time, so I am just going to plot this. Play it a little bit slower. Yeah, that's true. They did call a lot of bluffs in game one. But it turns out our hand was just all lands. This is I Remember. It's so weird. The song, the now playing thing, it takes like 10 seconds to update. I don't know. I didn't like change the file path or anything. There's nothing that changed about the Spotify program. But for some reason it just like it's just behind 10 seconds. I don't really know why. It's very odd. Because the way that it works is it's a text file. So basically the source that I have in OBS is it's reading as a text file from a local text file. So it's weird. I don't get it. Okay, they have 2 mana up. How about we go to combat? I think I'm just going to plot again, and then plot again, and try to one-shot them. Yeah, I'm just going to keep plotting. I'm pretty content with doing this, I think. We're just going to cast 3 slick shots in 1 turn. Hey, what's up, Bobby? Yeah, see, Bobby gets it. Ooh, little bounce spell action. Most people neither bluff nor call bluffs enough. I 100% agree. Which one? The one whose name in chat is literally Bobby, not Blokes. If I want to address you, I will say Blokes. All right. Keep that in mind. Not Blokes. Beak look. Just say the bald one. Well, then I'd be talking about myself, right? Big look, Bringster. Well, now what? Alright, I have an idea. I'm going to go this, attack, and then post-combat plot pass. Did I cue your song? I did, but the song's like 7 minutes long, so you're going to have to wait. But I did put it in the queue. I'm not skipping Deadmau5, though. It's not happening. Slickshot number 3. It's my favorite emote. Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, I mean, it's still fine. I want to draw any spell here. Oh. That's pretty good. Is it time? Is this the time? I mean, it has to be, right? Are they dead? I'm debating on casting Push first, but there's no way that's right. Yeah, there's no way that's right. Alright, cast this. Look, you figure it out, alright? You figure it out. Yeah, it's not getting better if I wait. And I even drew another spell, too, so it makes it even better. We are all in. All in, chat. I've never been more all in my life. Huh. I think I'm okay with this, right? It's targeting the Challenger. Trying to think if there's any reason to rage first. No, I don't think so. I think I am cool with that. Yeah, I mean, their Brotherhood's End's going to be good next turn. And they're Spell Piercing the Fatal Push. Okay, well, I'm going to pay. But that means I can't cast the Rage. I guess, do I even pay? Maybe it's better to just not pay and cast the Rage. Because all of my creatures with Rage are going to get past it anyways. Yeah, I think no block Rage is better. Because what are they going to do? Not block with the Shredder? Because if they don't block with the Shredder, are they dead? Let me think about this. Okay, so let's assume I don't pay. Let's assume they only block here with the Picklock Prankster. They don't block with the Shredder. This would be 9 plus 6 is 15. Yeah, it's still lethal, right? Unless they have a Fiery Impulse as their last card, or they could have like a Lightning Axe. Paying is a lot better if they have another removal spell, so yeah, I guess that's fine. It's not clear the Rage is going to be good next turn, though, because we don't have a creature. So basically, paying is worse if they have Brotherhood's End, but better if they have another removal spell. But here's the other thing, too. If I make them cast the removal spell now, they're less likely to be able to get back 2 Phoenixes next turn, which is nice. What if they have both? Well, I mean, if they have both, then there's like, my decisions don't matter as much if they have both, because like, no matter what I do, it's kind of awkward either way. Like, if their hand is removal spell plus Brotherhood's End, then I guess in that case, paying is better, because I want to kill the Shredder, no matter what. Okay, that's a good start. I mean, if they find the Brotherhood's End, we're dead. They jumped? Yeah, but they would jump anyways. No! And it's spell number 3 to get back Phoenix. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Alright, I guess I shouldn't have paid. I was scared. I had the read. Maybe they just didn't have the impulse. Why would they jump anyways? Well, they figured that their only out was... Even if they didn't have the Brotherhood's End, if their only out is finding Brotherhood's End, then they should chump block there. Right? Because otherwise, like... Their only way to win is if they find this card specifically. Yeah, I could have maybe saved the Swiftspear. I didn't think about that. And then I would at least have the Swiftspear left over for the Ob Nixilis, which could have been relevant. Is a Slickshot even good enough here, though? They can Prankster into Impulse, produce some blockers. Yeah, that's true, too. It's a good point. How about that one? Is that one good? I doubt it. So close. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to go for it. Because, like, I guess the question is, how likely is it they have the Brotherhood's End next turn? Okay. We're not necessarily dead yet. Like, if their leftovers aren't great, then we can still win this game. I guess they have that. They shouldn't have played their land first. I don't know why they did. Maybe they misclicked. They don't even need the second Brotherhood's End. They're off it. Alright, take this. Do we have an out to kill them? Claim to Fame, maybe? Not quite that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 1 damage here is 8. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Casualty. 4, 5, 6, 7. But the problem is they can just double chump block and not take a damage. Well, we're going to make him do it, right? I guess I didn't need to do that before blocks, right? That was stupid. For some reason, I thought I needed the power, but that was bad. I should have went to combat, targeted Titan Strength, and did this first. God, that was so bad. And they're less likely to block if I don't have the Rage first. Damn. Yeah. Isn't push more damage? It is, but it doesn't give me the out of ultimate Ob Nixilis. Isn't push Shredder there better? No, because it's worse with the ultimate Ob Nixilis. Right? Wasn't that the point? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. No, they can just lose 2 life. They can just discard a card, right? On the first one. They're at 9. I'm thinking about just letting them draw 7 anyways, because we have the Ruins. But I guess we know our top card is not. Yeah, we know our top card is the Claim to Fame, which is not a land for the Ruins. Oh, right, we're also did a Barber. Yeah, that's true. Alright, so what I should have done was not cast the Rage first. I think if I don't cast Rage first, they're likely to not double block. Day Miguel, thank you for the 20-month resub. Welcome back, Miguel. Appreciate that. Thank you for the resub. Yeah, I think there's almost no chance they double block if I just go to combat and cast the Titan Strength. And if they only single block, we get in the 2 extra damage. Down tick the big one for a devil. So I guess we can down tick the big one, up tick the small one, go to 10, and they have 9 power in play. Yeah. I guess that would work, huh? Wait, this song is a bop. God, this song is a bop. Okay, well, they had Spell Pierce anyway, so it didn't matter. Did not matter in the long run. GG's, though. GG's. Tough game. Yeah, even if I had done everything correct and just gone to combat first with the Titan Strength, they still had the Spell Pierce to counter the big Ob, so it wouldn't have mattered. Interesting, though. Tough match to close it out. Deck was pretty powerful. I like a lot of what's going on here. In the long run, it turns out if the entire format is playing this deck, then maybe we should play some more Reckless Rages in the main deck. I've seen people play 2 Arcanists. I wanted to try a third one, but I don't know, 3 might be a little too much. At the end of the day, though, I wasn't super impressed. I think this deck is doing some reasonably powerful things, but I don't know if it's necessarily doing enough powerful things to get me off of playing Phoenix, but pretty good deck. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought down below, do the YouTube stuff, and I will see you all in the next one.